I think I was feeling a bit insecure because I've never met you before. You're on the completely other side of the world. I have no idea if you're like a convicted felon or if you had like, I had no idea, you know? So I think there was a lot of question marks for me. Yeah, I think looking back, that conversation was huge. And I think for the viewers that are thinking about starting a consulting agency or starting up a business, I would say like the person that you partner with, like being able to have these candid conversations and be able to get whatever is on your mind kind of off your chest and be able to be completely transparent with whoever you partner with is like crucial. And I think that moment, when I think back, was probably where we set our foundation and really understood each other and where we were coming from. Hey everyone, whether you're watching this on Elefante RevOps, go-to-market strategy with me, Colton Rodrigue, or HubSpot shortcuts with Garo Arroyan, welcome. We're doing something a little different today. This is a special crossover episode. We're teaming up to share how we built Elefante RevOps, why we launched 2 separate channels, and what we've learned so far helping startups fix their revenue engines. And heads up, we've got a live webinar coming up on July 29th. Why your funnel is costing you revenue, the Bowtie Fix with HubSpot plus Salesforce. It's going to be a hands-on, tactical, and packed with value for marketers, sales leaders, RevOps pros, and founders. The sign-up link is right below. Check the description to save your seat. Let's start with you, Garo. For those who don't know you yet, tell us about your background. How do you end up in RevOps and HubSpot?
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Hi, Colton. Thank you for hosting me today. So, my name is Garo Arroyan, co-founder at Elefante RevOps. I started 12 years ago as an SDR in sales, and I loved configuring tools with each other, integrating them with each other. And then my last job was marketing operations, where I fell in love with HubSpot. I integrated HubSpot with Salesforce, and there I found how efficient I made people, and that solved so many problems. So, yeah, I was amazed by how much efficient people became, and yeah, that was my start of the journey. I saw so many people needed help in RevOps and HubSpot, and I just reached out and I started my freelancing life. And yeah, one thing led to another. I messaged you, Colton, on Upwork, and yeah, you were kind enough to respond back. We had that first call, and from there started the birth of Elefante. We got so many partners, clients with each other. I brought my partner clients, you brought your clients, and Elefante was born. And I think we shared that vision of solving for people and problems and being efficient. And yeah, that's, I think, my journey. And thank you for having me today. And how about you, Colton? What's your background?
Yeah, it is an accident, I would say. Getting into HubSpot, I started out with commercial real estate. At the time, I was living in Oakland, California. I just graduated from college with a marketing degree, and all I knew was that I liked real estate. I wanted to make money, and so I went right into commercial real estate in Oakland. At the time, COVID hit, and before that, actually. So when I was part of a sales team, we were looking for a CRM at the time, and we actually found HubSpot and looking at that as a solution. And so I think naturally I'm a lot more operationally focused, and I like to do things efficiently. And so it kind of was just a natural progression that I went into with HubSpot and just building out a CRM for the solution that my team needed at the time in sales at Marcus and Millichap. And so I was doing that. COVID hit, and at the time I was also studying like how to code and do Python and all of that. But like, mind you, I don't know how to code or do anything like that. But I was interested in tech, and I wanted to get into a space where I could learn how to grow businesses. And so I would say that's where HubSpot came into place, and I started doing consulting work on Upwork. one thing led to the other, and then I guess this is why we're on our call today with you, Garo, and yeah, it's all history from there. So let's talk about how Elefante RevOps came to be. We were both consulting solo for a while. What made us decide to build something bigger together, Garo?
Yeah, I think we both hit a ceiling, I would say, as consultants. There's so much you can do. I'd say if you want to move fast, go solo. But if you want to go the to the end of the journey, the very long path, I would say you need a partner. And I'm glad I found a partner like you, Colton. So I did see that we align, and I thought, hey, I did reach my limit as a solo. I think you were at the same place. We were like managing full-time jobs as well as a couple of clients. So I think it made sense just for us to join forces. We clicked immediately and we started, and it proved us to be right. And here we are. We built this very nice team and very nice company, and Elefante is just growing, and it's just the beginning, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say you and I both were at a time where we were working together. We were trying to get to know each other, and I think we got to know each other really fast based on how we both worked together. I think we just clicked like that. It was perfect. Like I'd be working on something, or I'd be running a meeting, and you'd be like two steps ahead of me, and so it was a no-brainer for me at the time to realize that we could go really far together rather than just being solo and not working together. So I think we're able to move fast with each other, but I think we, like you said, I think we both realized that we could go far based on, I think, how we operated together. So yeah, for me, it was a no-brainer. And
Very much. Very much. And we hit Diamond in 11 months with just the two of us, and I think half part-time team member. And that was quite impressive, I would say.
totally.
The team stayed more than 3 years, I would say, in reaching Diamond, and we did it in less than a year, which was, I think, 11
Yeah,
months.
absolutely. And those for listening in, what Carl's referring to is just a tiering partner system that HubSpot has. And so it starts with untiered, it goes gold, and then platinum, and then diamond, and then elite. And so I think Garo, you and I, our goal was to hit gold, within a year or two?
A year or two, I think, yeah. And then we did hit gold in 2 or 3 months, and then that was, we never looked back, and we put harder goals on us, and we
Yeah.
reached. So yeah, that was pretty impressive. And yeah, I think I agree. And the time zone was interesting as well. We never met each other, which was another interesting thing. We just trusted each other, and I think that trust did pay off. And just Colton being in California, me being in Armenia, that was 12 hours difference. Uh, it worked in our advantage because Colton would sleep and assign me a couple of things that needed urgent attention. He would sleep, I would do it, and then I would hand it over, and he would have everything ready. Just like you said, 2 steps ahead. It worked very well, like an oiled machine, and yeah, it kept
Yeah,
growing.
I think a lot of people would see that like as a weakness, being so far apart from each other, like a 12-hour time difference. Like that's huge. You're on the completely other
Huge.
side of the world as me, but yeah, somehow we found out how to make that a strength of ours, and it was almost like handing off the baton as if we're running some sort of race, and the work never stopped, and I think that probably contributed to our growth. So
Yeah, yeah, and I've been loving the journey so far. I know the destination is just the place you get there, but I think the journey matters, and who you do it with and how much you enjoy it is important. And I'm loving every second of it. So thank
totally.
you.
I want to ask you, like in the beginning, how big was trust, and establishing the trust with somebody that you had no idea who I was. Like how big was that for you? And I guess like looking back at it now, like it was a pretty big risk that both of us took. Like I guess what was that feeling like in the moment when you kind of took that leap of faith to partner?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think since we kind of work with each other, definitely I trusted you, but I was afraid to start something alone. And I was like in my 20s. I always wanted to start my own company, and I'm like, if I don't risk it, I'm never gonna start my own company. And yeah, it definitely was a huge risk, financially, revenue wise, resource wise, and all of that. It was a lot to digest, but definitely paid off. And I think the higher the risk, the higher the return, as they say in the investment world. And it definitely paid off. Colton showed me that, hey, for my knowledge, I should probably increase my rates. And I did. And I trusted you for that. And then partners and clients didn't stop coming. They grow, they doubled, tripled, and it did pay off. So thank you. And definitely, I think trust and risk go hand in hand. And I think without trust, you cannot build any relationship or any company to begin with, let alone somebody you never met in person and he's a digital person, uh, 12,000 miles away from you. It took a lot, but I was definitely ready to do it in my 20s. I'd do it again and again with you now that I know you. So,
Yeah.
yeah, how about you? What was your experience
Yeah,
with
I mean,
that?
I recall in the very early stages, I think we had a conversation about trust. I don't know if you remember that at all, but I think I brought that up because
Mhm.
I think I was feeling a bit insecure because I've never met you before. You're on the completely other side of the world. I have no idea if you're like a convicted felon or if you had like, I had no idea, you know? So I think there was a lot of question marks for me. But like my gut was telling me that it was right based on how we worked together. Like I think I had the trust for you, but I was still unsure in the beginning. And so yeah, I think we had a candid conversation about expectations, and I think from there for me, once we had that candid conversation where I got everything off my chest of all my insecurities, and you received what I discussed about, like I think that from there, that's when I really started trusting, like, okay, like Garo, he's he's convinced, he sees the same vision that I see, and that we both have this tremendous amount of value of being consultants together, um, and that we would just go really far together. And yeah, I think looking back, that conversation was huge. And I think for the viewers that are thinking about starting a consulting agency or starting up a business, I would say like the person that you partner with, like being able to have these candid conversations and be able to get whatever is on your mind kind of off your chest and be able to be completely transparent with whoever you partner with is like crucial. And I think that moment, when I think back, was probably where we set our foundation and really understood each other and where we were coming from.
Yeah, well, I think I remember that, Colton, that conversation, especially when you said that starting a business is like choosing your life partner and it's like a marriage. And I totally agree with that now because it has a lot of trust, a lot of sharing your financials, your life, your like more hours with you than with your business partner than your life partner. So it totally makes sense. And just putting the right foundation for any marriage is the secret to success, including trust. So, yeah, I would say it was a very interesting start and it definitely paid off to kick off.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So, yeah, it's been a marriage. It's been a long road, but it was worth it. I think the risk that you and I both took, it was worth it. And yeah, we're building something amazing, and I would say we're just getting started with it all. So, Garo, let's shift gears a little bit. So, I think one of our unique identifiers about really makes us who we are, kind of like our key differentiators, I would say, is our culture and probably like our diverse backgrounds of all of our team members on our team, especially like how we started out. You know, you came from Armenia, I'm from the United States, and so it's completely different backgrounds. So, my question is like, with our culture today and how diverse we are, I guess, like, how is that a strength of ours and a key differentiator with our diverse background from your perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just you and I bringing that culture into Elefante from the very beginning is huge because our team is spread all over the world. So Armenia, Spain, Brazil, Colombia, and the US. So I think we have very diverse background. And I think talent is not focused in one country or one city. There's a huge talent in the world. So hence, we enhanced our own strengths with each other. And I think that also translates back to the entire team that we have, and which I love. And that's one of our strengths, being from different backgrounds, all of us being extremely resilient, curious, and wanting to work hard and go the extra mile for our own personal growth as well as for our partners and customers. And that shows just being from this diverse backgrounds we have. And yeah, I think it comes all the way from us being from different backgrounds, yet loving the excellence and hard work, and looking for similar people to join us in this journey. So very much aligned there.
Nice. Yeah, I would agree. I would say like the benefit of being a remote first company is that we have access to the entire world of the talent pool. And I think the challenge is finding where these people are tucked away in certain places in the world. But like for me and my personal background, I love traveling. So I traveled for like 10 years of my life. And so I think culture and experiencing new cultures has always been like a piece of my heart. So, given our name, Elefante is in Portuguese, elephant in English. At the time, I was living in Rio de Janeiro, and then I guess the elephant concept just came from my travels in Thailand and like taking care of elephants for a period of time. So, I think culture, I love understanding different cultures, but I think for me at least, hiring out of like South America or like Brazil in particular, I understand the culture in a lot of ways. My wife being Brazilian and living in Brazil for about like 2 years and traveling there for at least like 14 times, something around that. I understand the culture a bit, but it's cool because we kind of get this mix of these different cultures. From, we mentioned like Spain, you're located in Spain right now. We have Brazilians, we have Colombians on our team, and then a few other Armenians. So um, it's interesting to see how we can kind of mix all the cultures together. And we are a US based company, so we kind of have the principles and the work ethic of a US based company, which I think is pretty unique. It's kind of hard to do coming from all the different cultures, but I think what really sets our foundation in all of that is our core values, our behavior values, and really setting expectations up front. So, which I think is interesting. And
Yeah.
you also shared a podcast with me with Mr. Wonderful, and he talked about how he hires, which was reassuring, and how we hire as well. So we always start out with like a trial period of like 3 months and really test to see if somebody's the right fit for us when they come into the team. So I don't know if you have anything else that you want to
Yeah.
shed light on with that, but I found it pretty interesting.
No, I totally agree. And then I would say what shares interests in all of us. I think we all worked with US companies before and then joined Elefante. So we know the work culture. And that's what I love. I think I worked with only US companies all my life for the past 14 years, all of my career. And I love the US working culture. Yet what we bring from different cultures mixed with the US working culture makes it like a perfect match. And that's what I love about our team as well. All of them worked with US companies as well as bringing their own local cultures to the mix, which makes it a super interesting uh, team, passionate and
Totally.
professional.
Yeah. Cool. I love those answers. It's interesting to hear your perspective on it. I'm going to pivot a little bit more towards exactly what we do, and I guess what we're trying to position ourselves as. And I think we've made in the last few years, we transitioned from being HubSpot experts, CRM experts, to more the strategic kind of teachings of what we do in revenue architecture, and really building a CRM to be a Ferrari, to be a CRM that can be repeatable for teams, sales teams, customer success teams to adopt it as a tool that they can really use and rely on as far as gathering insights and making those next decisions to continue the growth of the company. Um, I wanted to ask you, because one thing that we are very serious about is being educators for our customers and not consultants. I think we're trying to remove the stereotype of consultants where we're just trying to get customers in, deliver a service and then be done with it. I think our approach is a lot different in that we're very customer centric. That when we bring in a customer, what we call a partner of ours, we truly want to understand their business and how they're generating revenue, how they get leads in to customers, and how they're delivering their product or their service to retain that customer. Um, so I want to ask you, as far as what does it mean to you to be an educator for our customers to really enable them to grow? So what do you think about
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think what I love about the agency life is not being a consultant, rather being an educator and learning each and every business that we work with and being a true partner for our customers, being an extended part of their team and then teaching them on how to better calculate their conversions, how to better accelerate their growth, where their revenue is leaking, all of that, and then give it back and put it in their CRM using tools like Super that we use and everybody loves. And we saw how much the teams are being more adopting the CRM and better equipped for the challenges of the new go-to-market uh, uh, market that's happening. So yeah, I would say definitely love being educator. Even me being in sales, I feel like my sales cycle is more like educating people on what revenue operations is, and then the last 5 minutes is like, oh, what are your terms and okay, can we start? So usually I'm educating people on what RevOps is because it's a super new terminology. I know it's very famous in the US, but it's very new in Europe, Asia, and new markets. So I would say we need to be ahead of the curve, the educators, to also bring those values and teachings and learnings to our customers and make sure they are prepared for this next generation of whatever is going to happen in the market and they become resilient for any of the shakes or the hurdles that they see in the uh, revenue piece, be it sales, marketing, or customer success.
that? Totally.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think we are taking a bit of a gamble, but I think it's the right gamble. We have a workshop coming up on July 29th, and it's called The Funnel is Costing You Revenue, the Bowtie Fix with HubSpot plus Salesforce. And it's really a effort for us to establish ourselves as those educators in the market, in go-to-market, in revenue architecture and RevOps, and really how we as an agency, with our practices that we know and our frameworks, how we really in practice take this conceptual idea of a customer journey and the reflection of the Bowtie model and how we actually build it inside of HubSpot as well as Salesforce, so that we can start educating everybody, whoever this would help, if it's founders, if it's sales leaders, to really conceptualize how to grow a business more efficiently, more effectively. So it should be an amazing workshop that we have. And yeah, I think it's a huge effort that we're putting forward to really to share to the public for free, so that they can learn how to really build a CRM correctly. So yeah, it's cool for us to see us going this way. And if you're watching this and that sounds very interesting to you, check it out, click on the link, register, and if you can make it or not, if you don't make it, you can get a recording of that video sent directly to your inbox, your email inbox, and it'll just be there for you to learn and take to practice for your own business. So check it out. Garo, I know one of our biggest reasons why we started creating these YouTube channels was so that we can establish ourselves as educators. Do you want to talk about your YouTube channel a little bit, HubSpot Shortcuts, and I guess why we're doing this?
Absolutely. Well, I think, as I said, we are becoming educators, and it's important with all the new updates, with all the AI and around revenue operations and HubSpot. There's so much happening. There needs to be, I think, structure around how people digest all this information because there's so much out there and people can feel overwhelmed. And yeah, just starting this channel for me, at least, HubSpot Shortcuts was HubSpot releases from 200 to 600 features a year, and breaking that down into digestible content that people can just click and say, hey, I need this and I will use it. And then I'm there to help if you need anything. That was my goal to start the channel, to break the 600 features that HubSpot constantly is coming up with, which is amazing with the product team of HubSpot. But I think reading it from a knowledge base doesn't do justice for what the exact feature provides. And I think what we do in the channel is bringing it into smaller bites, digestible for every person, regardless if they are in go-to-market roles or not, to understand it, simplify it, and deliver it in an understandable way, and let them grow with the HubSpot growth, especially at my channel. I know you are more focused on revenue operations, so I let you answer why you started your channel.
Yeah, well, I think it's similar. I think one of our mission statement is to make revenue operations more digestible for, I would say, anyone to really understand how to implement a CRM correctly. I think as we grew, we got access to a lot of HubSpot portals and found that most of our customers, they went with a cheaper solution. And I would say a lot of consultants out there around CRMs, they're very good at solving issues and throwing on band-aids and duct taping things together. But doing that over time, it really compounds the issues, and you're kind of pushing away the bigger problem. And so I guess the reason why I started doing this unified revenue method YouTube channel was to start teaching both consultants as well as founders, the business operators, on how to set up their CRM correctly, so that they wouldn't have to continue slapping on band-aids to eventually run into a huge issue where they had no visibility in their data and how to make the right decisions. So I think that was the primary reason why we started this YouTube channel, around the more strategic aspect of revenue architecture and revenue operations, and how to get everybody on your team rowing in the same direction, how to create these repeatable processes inside the CRM. And as a result, get that output of data from those repeatable processes from your team. So, yeah.
Very interesting reasons. I think we align there.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, Gara. Really appreciate it.
You.
All right, let's talk about the workshop. It's called Why Your Funnel is Costing You Revenue, the Bowtie Fix with HubSpot and Salesforce. And it's not just another slide deck walkthrough. It's a look under the hood of how we actually implement the Bowtie model in HubSpot and Salesforce. We'll show you what the Bowtie is, how to define low touch, mid touch, and high touch buyer journeys, how to set it all up inside of HubSpot and Salesforce, and which reports you need to measure CRM data integrity and revenue performance. This is for marketing leaders, sales managers, RevOps professionals, and startup founders, anyone tired of leaks, silos, and vague metrics. Join us live, ask questions, and walk away with a real framework you can use tomorrow. The link to register is in the description. If you're watching this on Go-to-Market Strategy, make sure to check out Garo's channel, HubSpot Shortcuts. It's a masterclass in execution. And if you're here from my channel, definitely go over to Colton's channel for strategy, positioning, and RevOps diagnostics that actually makes sense. And if you want to follow how we're building Elefante RevOps in public, subscribe to the Elefante channel. We're sharing our processes, client wins, and the tools we use to get results. Don't forget to subscribe to all 3 channels. Register for the webinar on July 29th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Drop your questions in the comments. We will answer them live. Thanks for watching, and see you at the workshop.